things you should not forget to mention when addressing the people at the Centennial. You basically want to explain to them what the Amsterdam Writers Guild is about, either in a creative way or adding something creative afterward, like a short poem or an anecdote about your own writing experience. Start off with a simple greeting and then tell them why you're there. Go on with the simple facts about the Writers Guild, that we're a free non-profit group, that we've taken it upon ourselves to improve our creative writing, and elaborate on how we started this whole thing, because the UvA, unfortunately, does not teach any creative writing courses. Work some joke into there about the fact that foreign exchange students sometimes come to the UvA to learn creative writing and are then utterly disappointed by the complete lack of such courses. Also, don't forget to explain that in the Amsterdam Writers Guild, the students are also the teachers, with volunteers taking on a myriad of subjects that they study in some detail before sharing it with the class. That we have occasional guest lecturers who are already well versed in the aspects of creative writing they come to teach about. So, as members of this guild, we are, of course, all writers. Some of us are people who just started as a hobby. Others have more professional aspirations, and it's different for me. I don't actually have the patience to write anything longer than a poem of a few stanzas or a short story. I usually, when I write a short story, I just wrap it up real quickly, which does work because I have a knack for making stories seem complete with only a few sentences. No, rather than write, I like to read. I go through up to more than 100 books a year sometimes. And that's without counting the reading I have to do for classes. And as someone who likes to read, I have tremendously enjoyed the works that other members of the Amsterdam Writers Guild have put forward, be they long or short, poem or prose. And so I feel sincerely thankful that they're letting me read. And that, short as it was the story I wanted to tell here. And with that, I'd like to give the stage to someone who has done a lot more writing than me. Nadia, thank you very much.
7 things you learn as an English major. 1. A story, be it on a page or on a screen, is never just a story. Something morbid and twisted hides behind each and every narrative. And yes, that includes Disney's The Lion King. Just look it up. 2. There is, in fact, a huge difference between the words who and whom. Confusing the meaning of these two words will lead to embarrassment, death, or worst of all, academic failure. 3. No matter what you think or say, Shakespeare is a god. Whatever movie you watch or book you read, Shakespeare already wrote whatever it was 400 years ago. And he probably did a better job at it too. 4. A Chomsky is not a species of Pokemon. 5. Victorian literature is positively riddled with sexual innuendo, and you will never again read Jane Eyre the way you did at age 13. 6. You will probably never get a high-paying job and pay back your student loan. And finally, 7. You probably feel more fulfilled than any law or economics major ever will. Thank you.
Never written before. Too afraid, too shy, maybe just too young. Reading one book at a time. Poems, plays, more prose. A first. Embrace and observe an ever-expanding space. Thank you, Knox College. Then nothing. Only art. Faint snake goddess, jumping man through the ceiling. Is that art? How I love it now, I then longed for literature. Had I had a Virgil, my journey may have been shorter. I was also at Tavu before my ambition was answered here. Learning how to read taught me what writing could. More space than space, words beyond the bounds of the universe. A black pen, black book, and a bulk tribe. Reading they taught, though writing of fiction they failed to teach. Until they did, an ephemeral epiphany, then nothing again. But even this little light detonated a fire that promised to be as fruitful as burnt earth also is. My greatest compliment shows. What is so good, she said. It has everything academically that is needed, but it reads like fiction. Then I knew.
Hello, everyone. When I first came to UvA, I already had a perfectly good profession. I took pictures for a living. So when I tell people that I study English, I get mostly blank stares. When I tell them I actually want to be a writer, I get only blank stares. Who needs words when you've got images that make up for more than 1,000 of them? I suppose they do, but one thing I've learned here is that 1,000 words really isn't that many. And more importantly, that there's another side to that story. After studying words from a variety of angles, semantically, phonetically, culturally, syntactically, and most of all, poetically, it dawned on me. Each word conjures up more than 1,000 images. Think about it. If I say the word stew, I see a grandmother. Not my grandmother, mind you, someone else's. A Belgian one with a frumpy dress and sensible shoes. And chewing tobacco has turned her gums an odd brown color on one side of her mouth, and she loudly voices her distrust of the immigrant that delivers her mail. And this immigrant is from Ghana, where his mother also makes a mean stew with okra and pig's feet. She stirs the stew in her kitchen, standing on sore feet as she looks at the window. Her kitchen is old, but it's spotlessly white. When cars come by, whirls of red dust fly in, lighting up in a fiery hue as they pass through beams of sunlight, and gradually undo her cleaning efforts. And as she stirs and stares into the dust, she dreams away, and I dream away. And I find myself walking in the streets of Ipanema, that green and gold neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro, where I'm walking to my own grandmother's house at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I'm breathing in the moist, heavy air that invariably carries the heady scent of garlic through the streets at this time of day. It's the time of day when black bean stew is made and granddaughters were never happier. The freedom of association that comes with creative writing is infinite in the most intimidating and liberating way, and I know nothing like it to open your mind so powerfully. It was the UvA English department that made me realize this, and I can only hope that we can make them realize the importance of that.
What kind of hypocrisy can possibly follow in scholarly products? Gotta be eclectic and iconic, unironic and available, submit electronic, cause we gotta get a handle on attempts to con it. We require variation when juggling information, when attempts at real creation just end in regurgitation. Across the nation, got students stuck at the stations, cause certain stale citations are objects of veneration. Paper after paper, we're pushing inside the limits, when 100 little minions can't find a reason for living. It's impinging on legions of men and women, how we'll never be ourselves if we just take what we're given. I've never been impressed with promises vomited condescendingly at us by bureaucratic conglomerates. Exacerbating profits from offices while diminishing returns on education astonished us. What's wrong with us? Supposed to be literate generations. Instead of innovating, we're pushing accreditation. Here's a new mentation, consistent perpetuation of a system that's abusive is bound to result in hate, son. So we step back and try to be real and learn to write right so we can write what we feel. But at every turn we're obstructed by surface studies constructed. We had desire to learn. Institutions fucked it. We can't have right and empower an individual's neoliberal visions permit only the simple tools. So we'll see our mission is getting to be creative, but every day after day we give only more of the same shit. Understand mechanics of ideology, internalize a vision supported by methodology. It's gotta be the most disingenuous probably when what they achieve is intellectual robbery. Unacceptably punishing intellectuals contending for academic credentials ineffectually. We gotta conquer these limits to our potential with time to organize. We're stronger exponentially. The fact is that we're writers, a fire burning inside us can excite us and incite us despite attempts to spite us. But more than just dividing, we're looking to reunite us with institutional mindedness threatening to divide us. So we created a new initiative populated with motivated people with the discipline and the perseverance for piercing this interference. I fear it's a fire spirit appearing to let you hear it. If you're impressed, intrigued, your curiosity's piqued. If you're interested in being part of something unique, if ambitions of erudition going underfulfilled, you're one of us, so come and join the Writers Guild. You're one of us, so come and join the Writers Guild.
We started this initiative at the end of last semester. It was my last semester at the UvA, and I was really sad that creative writing was not offered as a proper course. I can't benefit from any changes to your curriculum, but we sincerely hope that we can make future generations of UvA students benefit from it. We will continue on our own, teaching each other, but we really feel that creative writing should be a part of the UvA curriculum for the century to come. Thank you.